Right. What's going on, people? Jacob here, Miami Dolphins Syndicate. Miami Dolphins win today 21-17, 5-7 now on the season, winning 4 out of our last 5 games. Saints fall to 2-10. The Dolphins won a game today. That's almost about where the positives really come to an end, besides Devon Achane. Devon Achane, man, I mean, is there a way for us to give him the ball every single game? Can he play quarterback? Do we know about that yet? Because I'm so tired of seeing Tua play football for this Dolphins team. But before I get to any negatives, Achane was fantastic. I mean, he is such a great player, and Mike McDaniel has really figured out how to use him. Last year, pretty much everything was on the outside, whether it be screens, whether it be runs. But now he's starting to figure out how to use them in between the tackles. And in between the tackles certainly isn't the strength for Achane. It is space. However, the threat of running in between the tackles with Devon Achane does open things up outside. And because of that, teams have to respect it. And that does give you more space, which we saw on the touchdown, going to the outside, Achane scoring. And for the most part, like I said in the beginning, that's where the positives stop, at least for the offensive side of the ball. Tua today, 12 of 23, 157 yards, an interception, 4 sacks, a 55.9 passer rating. He was bad. He could not run the offense. He could not hit. I don't want to say there was a lot of open throws he missed, but open enough throws where you're just scratching your head wondering how he missed that throw. Waddle has a very quiet game. Leading pass catcher is Darren Waller, 2 catches, 47 yards. Achane didn't even have a catch. I mean, all of Achane's contribution was on the ground today. How often do you get to say that? Dolphins offense was pretty putrid outside of that drive with Achane, really outside of the first quarter. Just not a whole lot going on the ground. You played against a rookie and Tyler Shuck on the other side. The defense played pretty well. Shuck got a lot of his yards there in the fourth quarter, which, I mean, in that fourth quarter, we did everything we possibly could to give up that game. But 26 of the 38, 239, 2 touchdowns, interception, a 91.9 passer rating. I thought Shuck looked really comfortable, and that is something that the commentary team hit on a lot, is he didn't really seem panicked. And we know the Saints team is pretty thin when it comes to their skill position players. They have Chris Olave. Olave has a decent game, 447, finds the back of the end zone. Devon Vele, breakout career game from Vele, 9 or 8 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown. Ground game was non-existent. The Dolphins' defensive line played really well today, but Shuck was confident, was comfortable, and really made a mess of it there at the end for us. I mean, I don't understand how that possibly could have stood, how that onside kick could have stood, but they had a chance. They had a chance to come back down there at the end and potentially win the game. Now, the Dolphins did get home with the defensive line, as I mentioned. The Saints running game, mostly non-existent. 4 sacks on the day. Zeke Biggers had a half of a sack. Chop Robinson, finally a game where he looks a little bit explosive and he's having a big impact. 1.5 sacks from him. Bradley Chubb had a sack. Minkah Fitzpatrick had a sack. Also, of course, having that pick 2 to extend the lead out to 4. So if and when the Saints got the onside kick, they would have had to have gotten a touchdown. That ultimately ended up being the difference in the game because they very easily could have kicked the field goal there. We already saw their rookie kicker already hit a kick from, 56 yards. I believe they got stopped at around the 30-yard line. That's just the wheelhouse that we've seen from him. That's a very makeable kick. So Minkah Fitzpatrick with the play of the game on that pick 2. The defense has looked a lot better over the last few weeks, most notably stopping the Bills' offense, gave Josh Allen absolute fits last week, or what was calendar-wise 2 weeks ago. Marcus Mariota wasn't comfortable. Ground game of the Commanders wasn't comfortable. And then again today, now obviously not against the best of competition, just like we saw last week with the Commanders. The ground game, non-existent. Tyler Shuck, outside of that 8-minute stretch in the fourth quarter, didn't have a big impact on the game. This defense is really starting to come together. I never bought into any Anthony Weaver criticism that I heard from fans early on in the season. knowing the personnel that he is being given, I trust him to be a good coach. We've seen him as a good coach. I'm somebody who I'm also a bit of a fan of the Ravens. I trusted him from his time with Baltimore. Everything he showed us coming into this year, I had full trust in Anthony Weaver. It was a rocky start, but look at the tools that he's being given. So he's starting to get this defense to play right. Now it's just the offense. Tua is always going to be the conversation whenever the offense doesn't play well. And I hate to always point the finger at Tua, but he was poor today. He wasn't quick in his decision-making process. He wasn't accurate in getting the ball out. Poor decision-making. The offensive line, 4 sacks. I don't feel like a lot of it was necessarily on the offensive line having a bad game. The Saints, they do have a good young defensive line, and we saw that today. But Tua just needs to get the ball out accurately, and this game easily could have been over at halftime. Questionable decision, and it's a decision that if you win, kind of gets swept under the rug, but if you lose, you bring it back. You get that interception off Tyler Shuck. You bring it back to Rasul Douglas, brought it back to the Saints side of the field, and you're really timid. Elect to kick the field goal. You make the field goal, which again, in a 4-point game, that is one of the differences in the game. But the timid approach by Mike McDaniel, when one of my biggest criticisms of him is that he is a seemingly very timid guy. He's not very imposing. So to see that decision to not be aggressive, not go for a touchdown there, not even attempt really for a touchdown there, I didn't like the call. It's easy now that we won to accept it, but 4 points, a 2-point pick 2 going back the other direction. I mean, such fine differences at the end of the game that if you look at that decision, if we had lost, I'd be way more livid about it. Few questionable calls by the ref certainly there in the fourth quarter, especially on that onside kick. I really don't understand how that wasn't overturned. They say it touched the Dolphins player. I have yet to see a replay in which it did. It felt like a kind of a bailout call for the refs to say that the call on the field stands, that it touched the Dolphins player. I didn't hear it mentioned once that was the official call, that it touched a Dolphins player first. It feels like kind of a retroactive call to say that that's what we said in the first place. That's what it felt like to me. Let me know your thoughts on that play in the comments down below. But you keep your season alive-ish. You look across the AFC, a few results that could have gone our way didn't. You're looking at the Jaguars curb stopping the Titans, which we wanted the Titans to win, but we knew they probably wouldn't have. The big one is certainly the Texans beating the Colts in Indianapolis. The Colts are really starting to flounder, so they're not even a shoo-in to win that division anymore, where at one point they were competing for the number 1 seed. I don't know if they hold on to that division with the way Jacksonville's playing. Jacksonville's got an incredible defense. Trevor Lawrence is not making a whole lot of mistakes. Ground game wasn't really there for the Jaguars today, but I think it's very much in play now that the Jaguars can take that division. Pulling up the standings real quick, they're actually leading the division. So Colts are now, they've currently fallen into the second place spot in their own division. Right now, Bills Steelers going on 7-0. The Steelers have the lead at the time of recording this, just before halftime. It looks like the Bills are at the very least going to be able to kick a field goal there. I don't know if it's out of my head what's better for us to want to see happen there. I don't know. Chargers, Raiders, certainly rooting for the Raiders there. A 7-7 ball game at halftime. So some results can go our way. Some results already haven't. Some results already have. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but the Dolphins did their job. You win. You're 5-7. Was it pretty? Goodness, no. It was certainly one of the least pretty wins that I've ever seen. It's a win that, assuming we don't make the playoffs, in 3 years' time, you're going to forget that this game happened, and that is okay. But you won. And with the standard that we dealt with early on in the season, where we were leading a team like the Carolina Panthers by multiple scores, end up losing that game, leading against the Patriots. Now we know how good of a team the Patriots are, leading against the Patriots in the fourth quarter. Ultimately, you drop that game. You switch those results and you have 7 wins and 5 losses. I mean, you're there. You are fully in the playoff picture. With how those games gone, I'm taking the loss that, or sorry, the win that almost feels like a loss. It feels like a loss, but it's not. We can't complain. We can't get greedy as Dolphins fans right now. So 5-7 now. Moving on next week to the Jets, who they won. That game was weird. I mean, another weird fourth quarter there where both teams possessed the ball like 2 or 3 times each within the last 4 minutes of that game. And Nick Folk, I don't know, that ball got 15 feet above the ground, and ends up finding its way home. So we got to go up to New York. It was a very close battle when we took them on down in Miami for our first win of the season. They're clearly a team just like us that haven't given up yet. Tyrod Taylor is likely going to get to start again next week, so more of a veteran presence of a guy that's not going to make a whole lot of mistakes rather than the athletic upside of Justin Fields. So certainly at this point, every game from this point on is a must-win. Starts next week. You look beyond next week. You got the Steelers. I don't know really what to make of the Steelers still at this point in the season. Bengals with Joe Burrow back, Buccaneers, Patriots. It gets a little bit more difficult following that Jets game, so it's even more important you get that one over the line. Let me know your thoughts on the game down below. Again, ugly win. Achane, awesome. Turnovers, defensive line playing good, defense in general playing really well. So let me know your thoughts on the game down below. We'll catch y'all next time. Have a great rest of your day. Go Dolphins.